Let's tear some evidence into shreds. In 1912, one of the most famous and influential archaeological finds of the 20th century was announced based on bones excavated in southern England. It was the skull of an ancestor to modern humans that filled in a missing evolutionary link between humanity and apes. It was known as the Piltdown man after the site of its discovery, and this fossil rapidly became an icon of humanity's first emergence over 750,000 years ago. Fast forward 4 decades, November 1953, and Time magazine publishes an article that has this line in its opening. Last week, 3 British scientists armed with modern chemistry demolished Piltdown man. As a few skeptics had long suspected, Piltdown man was a hoax. Scrupulous scientific investigation revealed not an ancient hominid, but the bodged mix of a medieval human skull, the lower jaw of an orangutan, and fossilized chimpanzee teeth. The bones had been stained with a solution of iron and chromic acid to make them look really old. The teeth, when examined under a microscope, appeared to have had filing on them to make them look like a chimpanzee's, a bit less. In other words, it was actually not only a fraud, but a slightly rubbish one. Investigation had demolished the fakery, but why had it taken 41 years? Well, scientific testing had certainly improved in that time, but the main reason the skull had been accepted and endured in the first place was that it provided evidence of something that people really wanted to believe. Precisely because it was man-made rather than natural, the skull of the Piltdown man conformed closely to contemporary expectations that a large-brained missing link between apes and humans was just lying around waiting to be dug up. And its location also flattered local scientists and their particular geographical prejudices. Humanity's earliest ancestor was an honorary Brit, something that contemporary headline writers were not slow to point out. So why is this relevant today? Well, look online and look at how people treat evidence that confirms things they would like to believe. Is all the evidence out there approached with as rigorous a skepticism as evidence produced by people's opponents? Or are double standards applied to friendly voices and supportive sources? Now, I think you already know the answer to this one, especially if you've spent even a little bit of time on Facebook recently. Testing ideas against evidence is one of the most fundamental principles of scientific investigation, but it's becoming ever more important to note the word testing in this sentence. Evidence is at its most powerful when we use it to subject theories to scrutiny and when we scrutinize its own authenticity and reliability with impartial care. In an age of fake news and alternative facts, these principles matter all the more because it's very possible to drum up some kind of evidence for almost anything that you are desperate enough to believe. Is there such a thing as global warming caused by human activities? Was the world created by God in a week? The best evidence we possess suggests a strong yes and no respectively. But if you really want to believe the opposite, well, there are websites out there that can not only prove there's no global warming, but that dinosaurs were a malicious hoax invented by God to test the faithful. Should we trust them? Well, if an idea is truly worth your belief, the evidence supporting it deserves the most vigorous, demanding, and impartial testing you can come up with. Anything less, any special pleading, is a confession not of faith, but of weakness and fear.